Hola, bienvenidos. Welcome to Spanish 131 online at Stephen F. Austin State University. I am Kelsey Pelham. I'm going to be your instructor this semester, and this presentation is going to introduce you to the course, tell you the main expectations, and hopefully set you up for a successful semester. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Soy la profesora Pelham, as you see here. My name is Kelsey Pelham. I am a graduate of SFA. I got my master's here in Hispanic Studies, and I also got my bachelor's here in Spanish. And then immediately after my master's, I began teaching here in the Department of Languages, Cultures, and Communication. And I'm a native of Nacogdoches. I've lived here almost my whole life. So, any questions about Nacogdoches, feel free to ask. I probably know the answer or know someone who can help you. I'm a lifelong language learner, which is something that most people know about me. Probably people that don't know me very well still know at least that I love languages. There's a lot more to me than that, but that is the primary thing that takes up most of my time, except for this little girl right here, who I'll tell you about in a minute. So yeah, I've learned Spanish, I've learned French, I've learned German, I've learned Portuguese. I'm trying to learn Polish right now, and the list just keeps on going. So that's really my biggest hobby, my passion, and my career. So my job, as I see it, is to demystify foreign languages for you guys and to motivate you, to kind of cheer you on and to point you in the right direction and give you feedback as you go. So these are some really common things that I hear about Spanish, and these kinds of assumptions and these kind of ideas that we have in our head, preconceived notions that we have in our head before we start a task, can end up closing our mind to the task, making it less appealing, making it more difficult. And so what I want to do is examine your attitudes about Spanish, okay? Where did those come from? Maybe they came from a bad experience. Maybe they just come from fear of making mistakes or of not doing it perfectly. So I want to just take all of these thoughts that I have listed out here. Spanish is boring and difficult. If you hated Spanish in high school, you're worried about not pronouncing the words, you're afraid of making mistakes and being laughed at, just throw those into the trash, and let's start off this semester with a clean slate and an open mind. So what are the keys to being successful in this class? Well, lots and lots of daily practice will be essential. This course will have a lot of online homework, and the reason for that is Spanish and languages are unlike any other type of course that you take, because you really can't cram for Spanish. The language builds on itself, so you really have to practice each day in order to build up to some kind of fluency. Consistency is very important. So that means not spending, 4 hours on Spanish on a random weekend and then not spending any time at all during the following week. Consistency means, getting into routine, making it a habit. Habits define us more than pretty much anything else. Just think, if you have the habit of going to the gym for 30 minutes every day or every other day, it's going to be so much easier to pick yourself up, make yourself go to the gym than if you never go. And then you all of a sudden start feeling this pressure, like, oh, I need to get in shape. It's going to be so much easier when you already have that habit established. So this semester, I really want to encourage you guys and challenge you guys to establish a habit of working with Spanish, whether that be listening to a podcast, doing your homework, absolutely, doing something that's enjoyable to you, listening to music. There are so many options now with the internet that you can use to help you learn. And it's even better when you get a partner, maybe someone who speaks Spanish, maybe someone who's learning, when you get someone to practice with. So that leads into the next thing, which is motivation. If you have something motivating you, the consistency part will be a lot easier to implement. So your motivation might be to get a good grade in the course, but I hope that it's more than that. I hope that you guys see that Spanish is a very, very viable tool in today's world, and especially where we live in Texas. And I want you guys to see that it really is possible. Even after just, a few days in this course, you guys should see some progress. You should feel that you're able to do more than you did whenever you started out. So keeping a positive attitude is also essential. don't get down on all the things that you don't know and all the things that are left to learn and all the mistakes that you might be making. Keep a positive attitude. This is really going to help propel your learning forward. And lastly, very importantly, take advantage of your resources. You guys are going to have so many resources for this class, not only your online component that goes with your textbook, but also you have me, you have other resources at SFA, which I will introduce to you in just a few minutes. So 3 websites that you'll need to use, absolutely, and get used to checking, all right? This will require a little bit of discipline and maybe a little bit of time for you to get used to checking these if you're not used to doing this. D2L, I will be posting on D2L. This is an online course, so you will see some content posted on D2L. You will see your grades posted. You will see discussion posts. You will see announcements, okay? So just make it a habit to log into D2L frequently. Next, this is extremely important, your Cengage website, which goes with your textbook. Cengage.com/ilearn. That you should get on with creating your username, account, and all that this week, and to start doing some of that preliminary unit homework, because that will give you an idea of what to expect for all the upcoming units. Lastly, everyone's least favorite website is the ProctorU.com website, because since this is an online class, there's no way around it. We have to have some way of monitoring the exams. Otherwise, you could take them anywhere, and unfortunately, there could be the possibility of cheating. So you will go to ProctorU.com. I'm going to have a document on D2L explaining how you set that up. And basically what you do is you schedule your exam in advance, and you will have a proctor, that is a person who's observing you, making sure that you're not cheating. They will connect remotely to your computer and basically just monitor your desktop to make sure that you're not using any websites that aren't allowed on the exam. So no one's favorite part, but there are only a couple of exams this semester, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, so once again, who I am and where to find me. You can find me in the Ferguson building, which is right next to the Liberal Arts building, if you know where that is, on the ground floor, room G77, which is the language lab. Language lab is a cool area where you guys can go. If you're on campus, you can go and basically just sit and work on your homework. You can meet up with other people who are taking Spanish. You can come see me. I'm in room A, which is just right off there to the left in the language lab. Then my student hours are Monday and Wednesday from 9 to 11 and Tuesday, Thursday from 3 to 4. These are student hours. I say intentionally instead of office hours because I want you guys to know that they are for you. The purpose of them is for you to come by, ask questions, get additional practice. I'm not bothered by you coming by. I want you to come by. Especially if it's to do with practicing or wanting me to explain something to do with the language. I would happily help you with that. So if those hours don't work for you and you need to visit with me about something, just send me an email, let me know ahead of time, and we will set something up. My office phone is 936-468-2121. That's actually the language lab phone, but they will pass it on to me if you call. And my email is pelhamkg@sfasu.edu or the D2L email. You can use either one. Remember that D2L email only works within D2L, okay? So you can't use your Gmail and email someone at a D2L address, and vice versa. You can't email out from D2L. So if you're in D2L, you can use this email. Otherwise, use the SFA one. All right, so back to your resources. 4 really great resources that you guys have. First one is your textbook and the iLearn website. So the iLearn website is the companion site to your book, and it's basically like an online book plus a bunch of practice exercises. And there's so much on this website that you can use. It's a lot of material. I don't even assign it all. It's so much. But in addition to what I've already assigned, there are other things that if you're interested, you can come by and I can open up some additional practice for you if there's anything in particular that you're having trouble with. Second resource is me. So I would be happy to meet you in person if you ever want to come to the language lab, if you want to ask questions. Number 3, tutors in the language lab. So I don't know their hours yet. as I'm making this video before the semester starts, but there will be some walk-in tutors in the lab, and I will post their hours as soon as I know them. I'll post those on D2L. And the fourth resource is tutors in the ARC. So this is if you want a one-on-one tutor, and this is on a first come, first served basis. So, and I will also post on D2L the link to where you can go on the ARC website to sign up for a tutor, but you also could just walk into the ARC and tell them that you would like to sign up for a Spanish tutor, and they can get you paired up with somebody. There are not very many tutors in the ARC, so if you anticipate that you're going to need extra help, I would go ahead and look into that as soon as possible, like in the first or second week of classes. Okay, so our course textbook is Conectados, and this, it might have a different cover depending on where you purchased it. It does not matter what the cover looks like. If you bought it at the SFA bookstore, it's going to have a personalized cover for our courses. I would recommend buying them at the SFA bookstores. Absolutely, you have to buy them new. Unfortunately, if you buy a used copy, it will not have an online access code, and you absolutely need that online access code in order to do your homework, which is going to be a big portion of your grade. So, sorry, I'd like to be able to save you guys money, but make sure that the book you buy is new. So whenever you buy your package, there should be a little insert inside your book that has the course access code. Okay, so there's the course access code, and then on this page I have something else, which is the course for my particular class, okay? So not Dr. Racino's class and not Dr. Ureña's class, but my class. Once you go to the iLearn website, they're going to prompt you for your course code, your class. And this code right here, this BCHNJ786, that will place you in my class. So that allows me as your instructor to look at all of your homework. So two important codes. Once you put those in once, you'll never have to put them in again. And let's lastly go over what exactly we cover in this course. So in your book, you'll see that you have several chapters, but the book itself will get you through at least 3 semesters of Spanish. For this semester, we go from Capítulo Preliminar, which is kind of like a pre-introductory chapter, through chapter 4. And what we cover is communication in present tense. And we do use also a little bit of future using the form that I would call the going to form. So I'm going to go to the library. We're going to go on vacation. Things like that we're going to learn as well. Meeting and greeting, pronunciation, conversation about your classes, your daily activities and pastimes, vacations, family, weather as well, seasons, telling time, things like that is what's covered in this course. So let's talk about grading real quick. We have a 1,000-point scale in this class. 100 points will be allotted to discussion board entries on D2L, okay, what I call language log entries. And these are just simple entries that you make each week on D2L about a particular topic. And usually the topic is, what have you done to practice Spanish this week? What has helped you? What has not helped you? What is your goal for next week? Kind of thing. Sometimes I'll give you a particular thing to write about. Sometimes it'll be in English. Whenever we get to the point where we're using more Spanish, you'll use some basic Spanish. 400 points will be allotted to the homework, which is on the iLearn website. So look at how big a percentage that is. 100 points will be allotted to quizzes that you'll do through D2L. 200 points will be for your midterm, and 200 points will be for your final. So these will both be through D2L, but you need to register for them on ProctorU at least 3 days in advance. I recommend doing it a lot sooner than that, so you don't even have to think about it. So notice that your homework is worth the same as your midterm and your final. Okay, so that really just shows you the importance of daily practice. So even if you're not the greatest test taker, you can still do well in this course by being really consistent with your homework. All right, so that leads me to this. The most common cause of failure is simply just not doing homework. It's not being consistent with the language logs. It's not completing things. So I would recommend these things. Print your calendar, use alerts on your phone, use a planner, and log into D2L often. Okay, so yeah, your course calendar should help you out. I'm running out of time on this, so until the next video, hasta luego.